howdy, buckaroos. This your old pal Gabby Hayes, coming at you with another one of them rip-roaring western yarns. You're darn tootin'. Yes, sirree, Bob. Yo, I was reading the paper this morning. Some feller dived off that Golden Gate Bridge up there in San Francisco, California. That sounds a little mighty dangerous to me. You kind of reminded me of an old uncle of mine. Swan Dive Hayes, his name was. There was the greatest diver in the whole United States and Texas. He invented the Swan Dive, the jackknife dive, and the bread knife dive. Oh, he invented all of them. I guess the greatest thing he ever done was when he'd dive off from a tower up about 500 feet high, right into 6 inches of water and never got his back wet. Oh, he was a diver, that fellow. Well, finally he joined the Navy. And he was way out in the middle of the ocean, you know, and going around. He didn't get much chance to practice, but one day he climbed up on top of the mast, you know, and he dived off right into the ocean. Well, on the way down, he got tangled up with the rope. The rope just got wound right around. He kept right on going till he got down at the bottom, and he got stuck on some rocks down there. He couldn't move, neither could the battleship. He turned out to be the first anchor the world has ever known. Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, our yarn today begins just after a couple of government men suddenly disappeared while on a job in an old deserted gold mining town.
The old loco is that there contraption. Why, there ain't been any gold around here for 50 years.
Maybe you're right, mister, and yet maybe you're wrong. I kind of figured maybe they missed some other load when they were mining hereabouts. Besides, gold ain't the only valuable metal.
You mean that thing will locate other metals besides gold?
You can't prove it by me, mister, but that's what the inventor told me when he sold me this gadget. Maybe I can tell you better after I find something.
I think it'd be healthier if you did your prospecting someplace else.
This is a free country. Besides, I kind of like it here.
I said get going.
Well, I guess that'll keep him out of our way for a while.
At least by the time he gets his nerve back, our deal will be set. We'd better get back to Barton City.
Hey, Flint. Wait a minute.
What's up, Vince?
I just got another answer to one of those advertisements I've been running in the eastern newspapers.
You mean one of the heirs to the Waterhole mining property?
Rodney Trent. That's the big fish I've been angling for. His grandfather owned 2/3 of Waterhole when the mine was running full blast, and Trent inherited it.
The deed to his property will just about sew things up for you.
That's right. From the tone of Trent's letter, it's a cinch he fell for my come-on. He's headed out here to investigate.
It's Rodney Trent, all right.
Then we'd better get his body to Waterhole and put it with the rest of them.
Cheyenne, you old son of a sidewinder.
How are you, Fuzzy?
Am I glad to see you? I really been having trouble.
Doesn't look like you're the only one. I can't see him. This fellow's in pretty bad shape. Who are you? Just take it easy now.
Bandits. What happened?
They hightailed us out of here.
I've got to get to Barton City.
Your wound will have to be taken care of first.
Yeah, but I've got to get there.
Is there someplace close we can take him to doctor's wound?
Oh, I've been hiding out in an old deserted shack near here.
Good, let's go.
I don't know of any reason why those men attacked me. I was carrying very little money.
It didn't have the earmarks of an ordinary holdup. You said you answered an ad which was seeking to locate heirs of the Waterhole property. Did you write a letter to Vance Sharp in Barton City saying you were coming here?
Yes. I wrote him that I wanted to look over the land before selling. You don't think Vance Sharp had me ambushed, do you?
He seems to be the only one you contacted. Do you think his offer to buy your property was legitimate?
The figure seemed low. Sharp claimed the land was worthless except to an eastern syndicate which wanted to develop it into small ranches.
Ranches? Well, what in tarnation would they use for water? Waterhole was named because the town has the only spring in that section. And that's going dry.
Do you think there's a possibility of a new gold strike?
I don't know. But it's sure someone wants that property for something else besides farming.
Yes, and they want it bad enough to commit murder to get it.
But what could they gain by my death? I've signed no papers of any
You
kind.
wrote him a letter. He has your signature. Names are sometimes forged if there are no heirs to contest the signature.
But I have an heir. My daughter. I'm to meet her in Barton City. And from the reception I got, I'm worried about her.
Well, with Rod Trent safe, Cheyenne had just two things to do in a hurry. First, find Diane Trent and hide her, which was easy. And second, find them missing bodies, which wasn't so easy.
You take the filing cabinet, I'll take the desk.
Looks like we've drawn a blank, Shy.
There's nothing in the desk. Seems funny a lawyer wouldn't have a safe for his important papers.
You don't suppose he hung them behind a picture someplace, do you?
Looks like you hit the jackpot, Fuzzy.
You mean the jackpot hit me?
Here are letters from several people answering Sharp's advertisement. This one's from Rodney Trent.
Well, that's all the evidence we need to put a rope around that lawyer's neck.
You're wrong, Fuzzy. It only proves that Sharp was trying to locate the waterhole heirs.
But all we have to do is check and see if the other folks have disappeared.
Before Sharp can be brought to trial, we have to produce the corpus delicti.
That's your... Corpus de which?
The bodies of the murdered people.
Well, won't that be like looking for a needle in a haystack? I've covered this country all over before, you know.
I hadn't figured on looking for the bodies. Today's the 14th, isn't it?
Well, it was all day, unless you want to be technical. It's probably past midnight. And if today is already tomorrow, then tomorrow is the 15th.
Skip the comedy, Fuzzy. According to this letter, there's another sucker due in on the 15th.
Well, then we can...
Yeah, if Sharp is prepared as usual, welcome. We'll have all the evidence we need. Are you Luther Johnson?
Yes, what are you... Is this a holdup?
If we were after your money, we could take it right here. Let's get away from the road so we won't be seen.
Why did you stop me? I have business in Waterhole.
That's what I want to talk to you about, Johnson. Didn't you answer a blind ad and get a reply from a man in Barton City by the name of Vance Sharp?
Yes, he offered to buy some property of mine. I wasn't satisfied with the deal and decided to investigate for myself.
You don't know it, Mr. Johnson, but we saved your life by stopping you from going on to Waterhole.
Saved my life? Why should I be in any danger?
You're just one of a half a dozen suckers who fell for Sharp's come-on.
I have nothing to lose as long as I don't accept his offer.
Nothing but your life. Obviously, the others felt the same way about it you do. One of them is dead and the rest are missing. Sharp evidently figures that murder is cheaper than buying your property.
Then my hunch that property is still valuable is right.
Considering the risk that Sharp is taking, the stakes must be plenty high.
Have you proof that he's back of all this?
No, that's where you come in.
Me?
Yep, it's liable to be dangerous.
I'm with you. What do you want me to do?
Well, we'll start by playing a little game of tag. And I'm afraid you're going to be it, Johnson. I spotted Flint and his men just over the hill. Are you sure you want to go through with this?
Definitely.
Then get out in the road and get set.
I reckon Cheyenne knowed what he was doing, because if he didn't, there was going to be one more missing body, and it might be his.
All right, Fuzzy, start shooting.
This is a piece of luck. The Cheyenne kid don't know it, but without these, he won't be able to cut into our game. We lost them. They might circle back. Get him out of here and then report back to Sharp's office.
We'd better lead our horses and sneak down the back alley.
Come on, horse. Throw him down here till I open the trap door.
Well, Fuzzy, we found what's left of Bob Craig and the others.
Well, that's why the trail ended here, in Waterhole.
But there's still plenty of business to finish in Barton City. Tie those men up. We'll take them back with us.
Now that we've recorded the deed to the Johnson property, there's nothing left to do but find the Trent girl. Then we can start to develop that new vein at Waterhole Mines.
But what about the Cheyenne Kid? From what Flint reports, he's still in the vicinity and...
There's nothing to worry about. He more than likely just made a last try to cut in on our deal.
It paid off in results, sir.
What kind of a game is this?
Follow the leader if you're referring to what Fuzzy's got in tow. Come on in, Fuzzy.
Sit down over there.
Now, if you're talking about your own game, it's over. You're all under arrest. I'm taking you to Phoenix to stand trial for the murder of Bob Craig as well as Trent and the others.
It was Flint's fault. Johnson wasn't dead. Shut up, you idiot.
That goes for you too, Flint. You can't pin anything on me, Marshal.
Nothing but a mail-order murder racket. There's enough evidence with Johnson's testimony to convict you, with the exception of one little missing link. And I'm gambling that I'll find out right here why that Waterhole property is so valuable.
I'm not mixed up in this business. You can examine all my records and see that everything is open and above board.
What I expect to find, I won't find out in the open.
Hey, Shy, this office ain't got no safe either, but it's got a filing cabinet.
Hey, you're right, Fuzzy. See if it's got one of those trick drawers, like the one in Sharp's office.
I'll bet you this is all we need to wind up this case. Exhibit A in the Phoenix court.
I'm not connected with these murders. It was Vance Sharp's whole scheme. He made me forge those deeds.
Why, you dirty squealer?
Pull it, Buzz. I want him alive.
Hey, them fellas had quite a time figuring out that mystery, didn't they, huh? They sure was all mixed up. Kind of reminds me of an old uncle of mine. Mixed Up Hayes, he was known as. There was a fella that was really mixed up. Shucks, he thought up was down and down was up and in was out and out was in. Now that's being mixed up and you know it. He never fell downstairs in his life. Always fell upstairs. Yes, sir. Even his house was all mixed up. The parlor was out in the lawn and the barn was right in the center of the house and well, he just had it. Well, it was crazy. That and write a letter. You never seen anything like the letters he'd write. He'd write up and down, then he'd write across like this, and when you looked at it, it just drive you crazy. So he wrote a letter to a friend of his once, and the feller opened it up and got a pencil and tried to figure this thing out. You want to know something? That letter turned out to be the first crossword puzzle the world has ever known. Yes, sir. Well, I reckon that's just about all for today, buckaroos. But I'll be back next week with another rip-roaring Western yarn. You're darn tootin'. Yes, sirree, Bob.